Okay, I finally saw Fast and Furious 7. It's an okay movie. It's not exactly what I was expecting or hoping for. The very first 30 seconds of the movie really sets the tone for it. So, where I was expecting an action movie on par of the last two Fast and Furious movies with Expendables, the first and second Expendables with perhaps Mission Impossible, which is coming out, I end up feeling like I'm watching an action movie that's more along lines of G.I. Joe with maybe the Transformers. Remember the very first scene in the last Spider-Man movie with the Russian guy in the dragon costume? That's exactly the sense and feel that you get with a lot of Fast and Furious. The action sequences feel very uh, not, I don't want to say computer generated, but there's just a sense where it doesn't feel real. And I know it's supposed to be an action movie, but I want to look at the Die Hard movies for a second. The first couple, there's over the top, and then there's over the top. And at least with the Die Hard movies, with the elevator and with the airplane in the second one, versus I think it was the fourth one where his daughter's involved in it. And you remember the computer generated animated scene with the semi truck and the airplane, that it just, you could just tell it was fake, and not just fake. You get a lot of that sense with this movie. The car chases in here are fantastic. The So it lives up to its name in that regard. There is some humor in here, but I just don't feel like I, as a movie watcher, am appreciated. The fight scenes are terrible. They are up close. They shake the camera, and that's kind of the action scenes and fight scenes that you get. So I feel like a character like Jason Statham, the way the last Fast and Furious ended with him, I wanted that kind of tone to carry over into this movie. And again, with the first 20 to 30 seconds, that whole feel is shot, and there's a fake tension between Jason Statham's character, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham's character, and The Rock. I don't feel like there's been any reason to have these folks fight. As much as I like John Wick, and much as I appreciate the bad guys in that movie, it's kind of like the same thing with John Wick. You know, they're fighting over just a puppy, and what was the other reason for John Wick? Car and a puppy, I think, is what got John Wick's movie going. In this movie, it is Jason Statham's brother, but then again, it still doesn't feel like it's big enough to cause all this other stuff. And I expected a bad guy to be portrayed in Jason Statham like you saw in The Equalizer with that bad guy, and with some of the other bad guys you saw in John Wick, and I just did not get that. It was like the difference between Expendables 2 and Expendables 3. Expendables 2, it felt, I don't want to say Rambo-esque, but you still had that feel, whereas the last Expendables, this third one, it felt more like a comic book movie, and that's exactly what Fast and Furious did. It committed the ultimate sin of a franchise when you don't take an opportunity to do some introspection and look at the history of your franchise, the kind of movies that you've produced, and sometimes you need an outsider to look at yourselves and say, where have we maybe lost our way? What could an outsider help us to rekindle that maybe just the simple fact of living in time could help us to realign ourselves again. We see that in corporations, businesses. We have a very substantial business here in Kansas City that's trying to figure out its identity. It's been around for years. You saw that in the Star Wars franchise. You've seen that. You saw that in the Dark Knight trilogies. I felt. I love Dark Knight. I love Batman Begins, but I hated the last Batman. It was just felt comic booky. When the scene when the Catwoman does a flip and you have the sound effect, that's exactly the kind of feel and sense that you get with this Fast and Furious movie. I love the Paul Walker tribute. They did a great job with that in the movie. You can very much tell when it's his brother versus Paul Walker. There could have been a couple. They could have left. They could have allowed for a couple more weeks of shooting to allow some parts of his features to expand a little bit. I don't want to give too much away, but you'll know the difference between Paul Walker and his brother when you see the movie, and some of the dialogue as well, and some of the camera shots will be evident to you. So, go see this movie. I'm sure a lot of people people want to go see it. I would go see it again if somebody really wanted me to go see it with them. But hold your expectations in check. It's it is what it is, uh, and you just kind of have to be good with that. There were a lot of excellent trailers in this movie. They did do the Mission Impossible trailer. That looks pretty interesting. And I saw the airplane scene that apparently that Tom Cruise did do that stunt himself. They had an Avengers trailer, although the movie theater, the lights were on for half of it, so I missed half of it, but that's okay. Poltergeist, that looks very exciting. Those of you who saw that in the 80s, this very much looks like it definitely has the feel of the Poltergeist from the 80s, but obviously has modern day adjustments to it. There was a Sound of Music. No, that was. I think they're going to do Julie Andrews' Sound of Music again. They're going to re-release it. Fathom Events is going to do it. And I think that is all of the trailers. Oh, there's a boxing movie coming out. It's not Creed, it's something else that looks pretty intense. So, go out and see a movie. Enjoy yourselves. Again, I'm Fast and Furious. It is what it is. Whatever expectations you have going in, drop them down a little bit and you'll be okay. So, you have a great day. Have a happy Easter. Remember what Easter is about. Amen. Have a good day. God bless you.